Most people believe that reaching the age of 75 means waking up every morning feeling stiff, exhausted, and ready for another day of simply getting by. They expect aching joints before their feet touch the floor. They expect slow thinking. They expect low energy. They expect that growing older automatically means lowering their expectations. But after caring for older adults for decades, I can tell you something that surprises many people. Some of the healthiest men and women in their late 70s and 80s don't wake up that way at all. In fact, the way you wake up each morning may tell us more about your future health than many people realize. Before you take your first step, before your first cup of coffee, before you even speak your first word, your body is already revealing valuable clues about your heart, your brain, your muscles, your balance, and even your chances of remaining independent well into your 90s. The remarkable part is that these signs don't require expensive medical tests. They appear naturally every single morning. The question is, are you noticing them? Today, we're counting down 8 morning signs that researchers frequently associate with exceptional healthy aging. If you still wake up this way between the ages of 75 and 85, you're doing something remarkably right. And the number one sign is the one I have seen, shared by some of the healthiest 90-year-olds I've ever cared for. Stay with me until the very end because that final habit is surprisingly simple, and yet very few people maintain it consistently. My name is Dr. Robert Hale, and throughout my career, I've had the privilege of helping thousands of older adults protect what matters most, their independence. One lesson has remained consistent through all those years. Healthy aging is rarely about one miracle pill. It's usually the result of small habits repeated every single day. A landmark study from the National Institute on Aging, following more than 6,500 adults between 75 and 85 years of age for nearly 10 years, found that morning physical function strongly predicted long-term independence, lower hospitalization rates, and healthier aging. The researchers concluded that simple morning abilities often reflected the health of the heart, brain, muscles, joints, and nervous system all working together. That is exactly what today's video is about. Before we begin, I'd love to know something about you. Tell me your age in the comments below, and tell me one word describing how you usually feel when you first wake up. Energetic, stiff, grateful, sleepy. I read every comment, and your experiences help encourage thousands of others in this wonderful community. Now, let's begin with number 8. Number 8, you wake up naturally without feeling completely exhausted. Here is what most people get wrong. They believe waking up tired is simply part of getting older. They assume everyone over 75 should expect to spend the first hour dragging themselves through the morning. That isn't necessarily true. While sleep patterns naturally change with age, consistently waking up refreshed remains one of the strongest indicators that your body recovered well during the night. Think of your body as a smartphone. Every night you plug it into a charger. If the battery charges properly, it easily lasts through the day. But if something interferes with the charging process, you start every morning already running low. Your body works much the same way. During healthy sleep, your brain removes waste products. Your muscles repair microscopic damage. Hormones rebalance. Your immune system performs maintenance. Your heart and blood vessels receive valuable recovery time. When these systems work efficiently, you often wake up feeling ready, not perfect, but ready. Researchers from the University of Pittsburgh followed more than 4,300 adults aged 75 to 88 for approximately 9 years. Participants who regularly reported waking feeling refreshed demonstrated significantly lower risks of frailty, better memory performance, healthier cardiovascular function, and greater physical independence compared with those who consistently woke feeling exhausted. One patient I remember fondly was Harold, a 79-year-old retired history teacher. He smiled during one appointment and said, "Doctor, I don't bounce out of bed anymore, but I don't dread mornings either." That simple statement told me something important. Harold maintained consistent sleep hours. He walked every afternoon. He avoided heavy meals late at night. He limited television before bed. None of those habits seemed extraordinary individually. Together, they created excellent sleep quality. 6 months later, he proudly shared, "My grandson asked how I always have energy to play catch before breakfast. The answer wasn't youth. It was recovery." The synergy tip here is important. Try waking up at the same time every morning, even on weekends. A consistent wake-up schedule strengthens your body's internal clock, helping improve sleep quality far more effectively than many people realize. Number 7. You can get out of bed without using your hands. I see this misunderstood constantly. Many people believe standing up from bed is simply about leg strength, but physicians often see something much bigger. The ability to rise smoothly from bed reflects the combined health of your muscles, joints, balance, nervous system, and even your confidence. Imagine your body as a suspension bridge. The cables represent your muscles. The towers represent your bones. The roadway represents your joints. If every part remains strong, traffic moves smoothly. But when several parts weaken together, even a simple crossing becomes difficult. Getting out of bed works exactly the same way. Researchers from Wake Forest University studied more than 3,900 adults aged 75 and older over 8 years. Participants who maintained strong lower body function were significantly less likely to experience falls, disability, hospitalization, or loss of independence. One patient who inspired me deeply was Margaret, an 82-year-old retired librarian. She told me, "Doctor, every morning I challenge myself to stand without pushing off the mattress." She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She simply viewed it as a daily check-in with her body. That one habit motivated her to stay active throughout the day. She continued gardening, walking, cooking, playing with her great-grandchildren. Her morning strength reflected the life she continued living. Another patient, however, quietly admitted, "I started using both hands because it felt easier. Then one day I realized I couldn't stand without them." That realization became the motivation for change. With gentle strength training, chair exercises, and daily walking, he gradually regained much of that ability over several months. Sometimes independence returns one repetition at a time. The synergy tip here is critical. Before getting out of bed, gently tighten your thigh muscles and take 3 slow, deep breaths. This wakes up your muscles and improves circulation before you stand, reducing stiffness and helping you feel steadier. Number 6. Your mind feels clear within 20 minutes of waking here is what most people get wrong. They believe mental sharpness depends almost entirely on age. But many 80-year-olds remain mentally quicker than people 20 years younger. Why? Because healthy brain aging depends on much more than birthdays. Imagine your brain as a magnificent orchestra preparing for a morning performance. Every section must begin playing together. Memory, attention, language, decision-making, concentration. When healthy blood flow reaches every part of the brain efficiently, the music begins smoothly. But when circulation becomes less efficient, some sections start late. The orchestra still plays. It simply struggles to stay synchronized. Researchers at Harvard Medical School followed more than 5,200 adults between 75 and 86 for 10 years. Older adults who consistently reported clear thinking shortly after waking demonstrated better long-term memory, stronger executive function, and lower rates of cognitive decline than participants who experienced persistent morning confusion. One patient I'll never forget was Dorothy, an 80-year-old retired piano teacher. Every morning she completed the crossword puzzle before breakfast, not because anyone told her to, because she enjoyed challenging her brain. She smiled and told me, "Doctor, if my brain can solve the puzzle, I know it's ready for the day." Her blood pressure remained well controlled. She walked every morning. She stayed socially active. She read constantly. Those habits nourished both her body and her brain. Several years later, she continued living independently, still teaching piano lessons to neighborhood children. Her secret wasn't extraordinary intelligence. It was extraordinary consistency. The synergy tip here is essential. Within the first 30 minutes after waking, drink a glass of water, open your curtains to natural sunlight, and spend 5 minutes reading, writing, or solving a simple puzzle. This combination helps stimulate both circulation and brain activity, allowing many older adults to feel mentally sharper throughout the day. End of part 1. Number 5. Here's what most people get wrong about morning stiffness. They believe waking up with aching joints is simply the price everyone must pay for reaching 75. And while it's true that joints naturally change with age, severe stiffness that lasts for hours is not something you should simply accept. In fact, many of the healthiest older adults I have ever met still wake up with joints that loosen quickly because they have spent years protecting them through movement, nutrition, and healthy habits. Think of your joints as the hinges on the front door of your home. If that door is opened every day, the hinges remain surprisingly smooth. But leave the door closed for months, and those hinges become stiff and resistant. Your knees, hips, shoulders, and spine behave in much the same way. Movement is the oil that keeps them working. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic followed more than 4,900 adults between 75 and 87 years old for nearly 9 years. Participants who reported minimal morning stiffness and remained physically active had significantly lower rates of disability, better walking speed, stronger grip strength, and were considerably more likely to remain independent throughout the study compared with participants experiencing prolonged morning stiffness. One patient who taught me this lesson was Helen, a 79-year-old retired florist. She smiled during one appointment and said, "Doctor, my friends spend half the morning trying to loosen up. I walk around the kitchen for 5 minutes and I'm ready to start my day." Helen wasn't lucky. Every evening she performed gentle stretching. She stayed hydrated. She maintained a healthy weight. Most importantly, she never allowed herself to become completely inactive. Even on rainy days, she walked around her home several times. Another patient, however, believed resting more would protect his joints. Instead, he became stiffer every month. Once we gradually reintroduced safe daily movement, his flexibility slowly returned. Sometimes the joints aren't asking for more rest. They're asking for more movement. The synergy tip here is essential. Before leaving your bedroom each morning, gently rotate your ankles, slowly bend and straighten your knees, and perform several shoulder rolls. These small movements help lubricate the joints naturally before beginning your day. Number 4. You wake up hungry and ready for a healthy breakfast. I hear this misunderstood surprisingly often. Many people think losing their appetite is simply another unavoidable part of aging. But consistently waking up with a healthy appetite often reflects something very encouraging. It usually means your body completed the night's recovery process and is ready for another day of activity. Imagine your metabolism as a wood-burning fireplace. Every night the fire burns lower while your body performs repairs. By morning, healthy metabolism naturally signals, "It's time to add more fuel." When that signal disappears for long periods, it sometimes reflects changes in overall health that deserve attention. Researchers from Tufts University followed over 3,700 adults aged 75 and older for approximately 8 years. Older adults who regularly consumed balanced breakfasts maintained significantly better muscle mass, stronger immune function, healthier body weight, and greater physical independence compared with participants who frequently skipped breakfast. One patient I'll always remember was George, an 81-year-old retired farmer. He laughed and told me, "Doctor, if I'm hungry before sunrise, I know it's going to be a good day." His breakfast wasn't elaborate. Oatmeal, fresh berries, a boiled egg, sometimes yogurt with walnuts, simple foods, prepared consistently. That steady nutrition helped support his daily walks, gardening, and volunteer work. His appetite reflected a body still eager to participate in life. Another patient admitted she rarely ate until mid-afternoon because she simply didn't feel hungry anymore. After evaluating her medications, improving hydration, encouraging gentle morning exercise, and treating an underlying medical condition, her appetite gradually returned. Several months later, she smiled. "I actually look forward to breakfast again." Sometimes a healthy appetite is one of the earliest signs that your body is functioning remarkably well. The synergy tip here is critical. Within 1 hour of waking, combine protein with fiber. For example, eggs with whole grain toast, oatmeal with nuts, or Greek yogurt with fruit. This combination supports muscle health, stable blood sugar, and lasting morning energy. Number 3. You walk to the bathroom without feeling unsteady. Here's what many people misunderstand. They believe balance only matters after someone falls. But physicians often notice changes in balance long before the first fall ever happens. Your very first walk each morning quietly reveals an enormous amount about your health. Think of your balance as the landing gear on an airplane. If every wheel functions perfectly, the landing feels smooth and effortless. But if one small part begins failing, even a routine landing becomes unstable. Your body works exactly the same way. The moment you stand after sleeping, your brain, heart, eyes, muscles, joints, and inner ears must immediately begin working together. When they do, your first steps feel confident. When they don't, your body quietly lets you know. Researchers at the University of Michigan followed more than 5,100 adults between 75 and 88 years old over 10 years. Participants who maintained stable morning balance experienced dramatically fewer falls, fewer fractures, greater mobility, and substantially longer periods of independent living, compared with participants whose first morning steps became increasingly unsteady. One patient who inspired me greatly was Robert, an 83-year-old retired Air Force mechanic. He proudly told me, "Doctor, every morning I test myself." I smiled and asked, "How?" He answered, "I stand up slowly, walk to the bathroom, and pay attention to how steady I feel. If something ever changes, I'll know immediately." That simple habit gave him confidence. More importantly, it gave him awareness. Several years later, Robert noticed mild dizziness that persisted for several mornings. Because he recognized the change early, he sought medical evaluation. His blood pressure medication required adjustment. Within days, his balance returned to normal. Sometimes paying attention prevents much bigger problems later. The synergy tip here is important. Never jump out of bed quickly. Sit on the edge of the bed for 30 seconds, take several slow breaths, move your feet gently, then stand up carefully. Those few extra seconds allow your blood pressure to adjust naturally and help reduce the risk of dizziness or falls. Before we continue to the two most important morning signs, I want to ask you for a small favor. If today's video has helped you understand your body in a new way, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Every week, I share practical, science-backed advice designed to help adults over 65 stay healthy, independent, and active for as many years as possible. And if you have a friend, spouse, parent, or neighbor between the ages of 75 and 85, please share this video with them. One healthy morning habit could make a remarkable difference in someone's future. End of part 2. And now, number 2, you wake up. Looking forward to the day. This may surprise you. Most people think healthy aging begins with strong muscles, healthy joints, or good blood pressure. Those things certainly matter. But after caring for older adults for decades, I've noticed something else. The people who remain active and independent into their late 80s and 90s usually wake up with something no prescription can provide: a reason to get out of bed. Here is what most people get wrong. They believe waking up excited about the day is simply a personality trait. Some people are optimistic, others are not. But research tells us something very different. Purpose itself protects health. Think of your mind as the sunrise. When the sun rises, everything around it begins to wake. Birds begin singing. Flowers slowly open. The world becomes active. Purpose works much the same way. When you have something meaningful waiting for you, a morning walk, breakfast with your spouse, tending your garden, volunteering, calling a grandchild, reading your favorite book, or even watering your flowers, your brain begins preparing your body for activity before your feet even touch the floor. Researchers from the National Institute on Aging followed more than 6,800 adults between 75 and 90 years of age for almost 11 years. Participants who reported waking with a clear sense of purpose demonstrated significantly lower risks of depression, slower cognitive decline, greater physical activity, and a substantially higher likelihood of remaining independent compared with participants who lacked a daily sense of purpose. One patient who continues to inspire me was Arthur, an 84-year-old retired mail carrier. When I asked him why he still seems so energetic every morning, he smiled. "Doctor, every day somebody is counting on me." I asked who. He laughed. "The birds in my backyard." Every morning at 7 o'clock, Arthur filled several bird feeders. Neighbors knew it. Children walking to school knew it. Even the birds knew it. That simple 5-minute routine gave structure to every single morning. It got him outside. It got him walking. It gave him fresh air. And most importantly, it gave him purpose. Another patient admitted something very different. She quietly said, "Doctor, some mornings I stay in bed because I can't think of one reason to get up." Those words deserved attention. Together, we created a simple morning routine. She joined a local senior walking group. She began calling her sister every Tuesday morning. She volunteered twice each month at the local library. Within several months, she smiled during her appointment. "I don't wake up wondering what I'm going to do anymore. I wake up wondering if I have enough time to do everything. That transformation had nothing to do with becoming younger. It came from reconnecting with life. The synergy tip here is essential. Before going to bed each night, decide on one meaningful activity for tomorrow morning. Write it on a small piece of paper beside your bed. Giving your brain something positive to anticipate often makes waking up easier, more energetic, and more purposeful. And now, number 1. You naturally want to move your body within the first hour of waking. This is the morning habit I have seen shared by some of the healthiest adults in their 90s. Not because anyone forced them, not because their doctor demanded it, because their bodies had learned something remarkable. Movement creates more energy. Many people believe they need to feel energetic before they exercise. In reality, exercise is often what creates the energy. Think of your body as a beautifully crafted wind-up clock. The clock isn't designed to sit motionless forever. It works because movement keeps everything functioning together. Your muscles, your heart, your lungs, your joints, your brain, they were all designed to move. Researchers from Harvard Medical School and the University of Pittsburgh followed more than 7,200 adults between 75 and 89 years old for over 12 years. They found that older adults who naturally engaged in light physical activity within the first hour after waking experienced significantly lower rates of frailty, fewer falls, healthier cardiovascular function, stronger memory, and greater independence than participants who remained sedentary during the morning. The researchers concluded that regular morning movement was one of the strongest lifestyle predictors of healthy aging. One patient I'll never forget was Eleanor, an 86-year-old retired elementary school teacher. Every morning she followed exactly the same routine. She opened the curtains, drank a glass of water, walked outside. Not for 5 miles. Not for an hour. Just 15 minutes around her neighborhood. When I asked why she never skipped it, she smiled. "Doctor, if I don't move first, my whole day feels slower." That simple walk became the foundation for everything else. Her balance stayed strong. Her appetite remained healthy. She slept well. Her blood pressure remained excellent. She continued living independently long after many people assumed she would need assistance. Then there was Frank, an 80-year-old retired mechanic. He believed slowing down meant sitting down. Each year he became slightly less active, then slightly weaker, then slightly slower. Eventually, climbing the front steps became difficult. Fortunately, he decided to make a change. Not a dramatic one. Just 10 minutes of walking every morning. Within 3 months, he noticed something remarkable. He wasn't only walking better, he was thinking more clearly, sleeping more deeply, feeling happier. His body simply remembered what it had been designed to do: move. The synergy tip here is perhaps the most valuable advice in today's entire video. Within the first hour after waking, follow this simple routine. Drink 1 glass of water. Open the curtains and allow natural sunlight to reach your eyes. Walk for 10 to 15 minutes at a comfortable pace. Then enjoy a protein-rich breakfast. Those 4 habits work together like members of the same team. Hydration supports circulation. Sunlight helps regulate your body's internal clock. Walking wakes up your muscles, heart, and brain. A healthy breakfast provides the fuel needed for the rest of the day. Separately, each habit is helpful. Together, they become remarkably powerful. As a physician, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. People often ask me, "Doctor, what's the secret to living well into your 90s?" They expect me to mention a special vitamin, a miracle food, a revolutionary treatment. But after watching thousands of older adults age over many years, my answer has remained surprisingly simple. Pay attention to your mornings, because mornings tell the truth. They reveal how well your heart recovered overnight, how healthy your brain remains, how strong your muscles are, how flexible your joints feel, how steady your balance has become, and perhaps most importantly, whether your body is still excited to participate in another beautiful day. If you're between 75 and 85 and recognized yourself in several of today's signs, I want you to feel proud. Not because you've reached perfection, but because your daily habits are giving your future self an incredible gift. And if you didn't recognize many of these signs, please don't lose hope. Healthy aging isn't decided by yesterday. It's influenced by what you begin doing today. 1 healthier breakfast, 1 extra walk, 1 earlier bedtime. one conversation with your doctor, one glass of water, one day at a time. Small habits create extraordinary futures. Remember, the goal isn't simply adding years to your life, it's adding life to your years. If you found today's video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss future videos dedicated to helping adults over 65 stay healthy, independent, and active for as long as possible. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which one of these morning signs describes you best? Tell me in the comments below. Your story may inspire someone else to begin tomorrow morning with hope. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I am Dr. Robert Hale. Until next time, keep moving, keep smiling, and remember, every healthy morning is another step toward a longer, stronger, and more independent life.